In the bottom left part of the map, we have our Zerg player currently down one game. It is Ottr.
And in the top right, our teal turret player. Taking game one, Mass Reaper. It is Montasaurus.
So Manban actually throwing a reference out to Bottoms Up, which is a state of the game style show done by the Day 9 community. I believe that is happening tomorrow over at either Threx or Travis's or Nomic's channels. I don't know, I lost track. They'll tweet about it, so just follow one of them and you'll find out.
Yep, I believe it's normally over at twitch.tv/Threxor. It's 1x. Check that out, please do.
By the way,
Proxy Thor, watch out.
I was like, no.
That'd be some crazy hacks.
Here's the thing. As a Zerg player, knowing that your opponent is capable of this kind of thing, you are probably going to open pool first. You're probably not going to open hatch first unless you're very confident in your abilities. And by very confident, I'm like talking diamond and higher. So I've not seen many other people approach the game that way. That said, Ottr is real tough, so she's gonna go hatch first.
Tough, man. She lifts. Bro.
But, you know, there's actually some reasonability to this. If this is the thing that you practice on a regular basis, while in a general strategy sense, it may not necessarily be the best choice. If it's the thing you're best at, it probably will give you the best chance of winning. So, like,
Definitely.
that's
Definitely.
a reasonable approach as well.
Yep. If you know a build especially well, why not stick to it? Good practice.
And yeah, that would be kind of funny sometime to actually introduce the players that way, just to click into the blank part of the map and be like, in the bottom right-hand corner, we have not Ottr, our Zerg player, the green. And in the top left part of the map, we have not Montasaurus, our teal Terran player. But yeah, no.
Very dark.
Maybe we should do that tomorrow with Fun Day Monday replays. That would be a lot of fun.
Introduce the wrong corners, maybe.
I mean, after we get real into it, why not?
Yeah.
Manbomb will be casting with us for that, by the way, so it should be a riot.
Ooh, triple cast. Hype. Show up tomorrow. Make sure to be here.
I'm going to show up, not just with coffee like I usually do, but I'm going to go straight energy drink, which is something I haven't done in a while.
Crap! We're going to be caffeinated.
Basically, you know how I talk real fast sometimes and screw up what I'm saying? That doesn't happen if I drink that stuff. I can just start talking really, really quickly without errors. It's awesome.
So you're saying it centers your psyche into a brain laser?
Yes, it actually makes me a much better caster. It's proven fact.
Remind me to buy you an 8-pack.
Nah, I'm not going to drink that much of the stuff at once. I know better. But anyway, yeah, it looks like both players actually going at this with a more standard approach. Montasaurus kind of flipping from being incredibly cheesy to being more greedy, getting a fast command center up, building up some marines for defense, grabbing the early tech lab. This actually could be set up for a 2-base push, so he may not necessarily be going full standard on us here. But wait a little bit and find out what he's going to do with this factory.
Yep, we have a factory coming up and a reactor, possibly Hellions. Hellions would be good. Opener versus Zerg. You pick off some drones. And sure enough, yep. Gonna swap out the factory, drop the tech lab, and move right into building a starport.
So it actually looks like the setup for a potential drop. We got a few lings running forward for a scout now. They're going to discover the bunker at the front. Going to bite it a bit, and then one of them will die as he tries to leave. Ouch. Blood everywhere.
Yeah, that is a very bloody bunker.
It would actually be kind of neat if for Legacy of the Void they upgrade that a little bit, so like whatever dies next to the bunker like splashes blood onto it or something.
Yeah. On the way for Ottr, we do have a Roach Warren. Probably going to be pretty good, especially if the choice is Hellions, which it doesn't do. Yeah, Hellions don't do too much to armored units, especially those. Very effective here. They don't burn very well. Like that, you know, chop down wood, throw it on a fire, and you find out it's wet. Yeah, that doesn't burn.
I mean, that said, anything in this game still falls prey to the enough stuff kills it. Like, nothing in this game is hard countery enough that it will always win, regardless of the numbers involved. There are some games like that, Age of Empires, but this is not
Yes.
one of them. So
You
you
mean
have enough Hellions with only like 2 Roaches, they still win.
what you're
Right?
telling me is 12 samurai, if they hack at it enough, can take down a boat?
No.
No.
And if it was a StarCraft boat,
It
yes.
is a StarCraft boat.
If it's an Ancient Empires boat, depends on how well upgraded the boat is.
This Hellion's gonna poke around a little bit. They are going to find this third. Otter is taking.
Now, generally, you won't see most players actually poke at that in an attempt to kill it because it just there isn't much point to it. There's only one queen at the front, though. They actually can beat that down, and with a Banshee in play, this actually becomes very threatening.
Extremely painful cloaking 2 seconds. Not enough energy for that.
Speed's still not out yet. This is actually a very difficult position for Otter, as the without speed, the Lings will constantly be kited by the Hellions. Not to mention this Banshee flying overhead, gonna really impact the production a bit, taking a few drones, and the
Ling's lining up for a barbecue. Only 1 minute out.
interestingly enough, though, okay, yeah, Cloak is done. I was actually about to ask him, like, did he just not research it? I didn't see it in the production bar, but there it is. So this is pretty similar to how it went last game. A lot of workers are already dead. He's trying to poke away at the detection. That's actually not going to happen. This base is going to be locked down in a second, and that Banshee is going to. Wow, nice move getting that away. He needs to pull these queens back. There you go. Okay, so this is not an unrecoverable position. Kind of depends on how well Montasaurus is able to macro while doing this. And you'll notice his money's actually starting to climb a bit. So he's not fully taking advantage of the position that he's found himself in. On the same time, though, Otter has also been put into the same position as she's supply blocked. She's running into all sorts of issues now that there's this much damage going on.
Banshees are now out of energy. The damaged one's going home. First one's going to try and get some work done in the main. And probably going to shut that down, actually, before the damage. Wreak havoc here.
So on the back of this, we have a Widowmine Bio army. Primarily, actually, Widowmines. The Bio part of the army is very small. And that's going to become relevant because if Otter keeps taking in-base damage, a counter all-in is going to be the only way to win. And it definitely can do it, especially since Montasaurus is going for a third, so he's impacting his army size just a little bit.
Definitely. And road speed is on the way too, so that should be great for if she gets burrow or something like that, gets around behind the army. Could get surprise counter.
Similarly true, though, is the reality that no matter how... Roaches also have the same problem with Widowmines. They can take a lot of hits from Widowmines compared to, like, Lings, obviously. But you start putting them up, and they run to enough Widowmines and they all die. Now there's detection with this army, so it's a little bit less of an issue. Unfortunately, you'll probably discover in just a moment here that a certain element of Brood War was imported over into this game. Namely that if you A-click on a detected mine, the units will push each other into it, and somebody will die.
Oof.
Unless you take, like, 2 of them. It's really irritating, especially if you've ever used a Stalker. Or specifically 5. Tell 5 Stalkers to attack a mine. One of them will die, because one of his buddies in the back is like, hey, I want to shoot it. Pushes it forward, walks into the mine, explodes.
No, you eat it first.
But they actually do outrange them. It's real weird. Real annoying.
Yep,
So...
Monty, scanning the third here, gonna see what's going on. So, going.
This is a very strong play. I think right now he can secure this pretty easily. It's very difficult for Otter to get out of the map. There's little to no creep spread, so she can't move very quickly. She has very little vision as well. So the thing is, though, she is aware that her opponent's on 3 bases and probably does want to start getting a 4th and a 5th soon herself. So we'll see how much impact this has. But obviously one of the really rough parts of that Terran's picking up a gold thing is they can start treating Marines like Zerglings.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely
Scary.
going to ramp up bio production. And eventually outpace the Zerg as far as, replacing dead units. It's extremely painful.
So yeah, a very Hydra-heavy army. Interesting. I'm not really certain how well... Actually, this probably could do okay. There isn't a lot of bio. Splitting them off to go into a drop here. Though, if this drop were to get intercepted, which it won't be, as that Widow Mine has just alerted everybody that the army's out of position, so it's time to go for a drop, which is now being seen on the mini-map. This auto notice. Yes, army's moving back to do something about it. Will it get there in time? Oh, Montasaurus is a little... Nope, never mind. I take that back. She was just moving to a defensive location.
Drops in the main, flipping away the drones. Trying to do some damage here, but it doesn't have to be too great. It's not a bad.
With that done, he doesn't actually need to stick around to fight. He's not going to. He's going to pick up and leave. Ooh, supply block as well. Could have actually taken... Whoa.
13
not...
chunk.
This is what I call the I'm not going to get supply blocked reaction anymore. That's when you just build 6 of whatever supply function you are, whatever race you are. Like, I'll do this as Protoss all the time. I get supply blocked in the mid-game, and I'm like, okay, 8 pylons. And now I'm just going to build all of this stuff and hope I win.
Going to farm pylons in this pylon field.
Here's the rough thing about having a gold right there. The whole Zerg army just kind of shows up. It has to leave. And this army all shoots up. So if it wants, it can just turn and kill that. It's not going to bother. As I think Ottr has correctly identified that she needs to do something about the army first. Oh, the Widow Mines are going to tear this to shreds. Ottr does have a massive bank on the back of this, so the question is, does she have the larva to actually resupply her army that quickly? Looks like, unfortunately, not quite. It's got a few roaches coming up, still more larvae actually hanging out at this third base. I wonder if there's a control group error going on there.
There's still 17 larvae available, so there's at least some more reinforcement, but there's a huge army sitting outside of the third base right now, moving in the siege tanks. Getting ahead, make sure that the coast is clear, and poke away. Ottr's army moving forward, but honestly, there's not much she can do against the tanks, especially the armor damage.
No, it's going to take a pretty large misstep from Montasaurus to actually... He basically needs to throw this one as he pretty much doubles his opponent's supply at this point. He's going to take out the third, and he's going to take that out without damage, so he can actually leave right now. He's not going to bother, though, as I think he's correctly identified that he has a massive army advantage now as well. Just GG.